Okay, I feel like it's been a really long time, but welcome to another episode of White Lithium Euro Trash. Had a nice vacation in Iceland, went over to Scotland. Saw some pretty cool classic cars, not as many as I thought, but got that out of the way. And while I was on the airplane on the way there, I ordered a ton of parts, and now I'm feeling a bit overwhelmed. So my focus is really transitioning to the green 84 Saab Turbo, but I've got to get some critical issues on this Land Cruiser taken care of. I've kind of fallen in love with the car a little bit, but it obviously was leaking every kind of fluid. A lot of that has been resolved with the seals on the diffs and the transfer case that I did before, the front main seal. Now I'm finding other leaks, so we're gonna dive into that today so I can start knocking some of that stuff out. If we look at some of these parts, obviously the car is not original, so within that context I just want to clean it up as much as possible. So what I did is I got this other distributor, okay, which was well regarded on the internet from Performance Distributors, and it is made for the Toyota 2F. It has an integrated coil and electronics on it, which is one of the main reasons why I wanted it, just because it'll let me simplify the wiring and make it look less cluttery inside of the engine bay. Come with some fancy, probably irrelevant performance spark plug wires. So I'm going to put that on, but then I also I believe there's a leak coming from where this oil filter adapter mounts to the engine block from that gasket, so I'm going to try and fix that. While I pull this all off, there's a side cover gasket on here that I think is also leaking. We're going to try and fix that. So we're going to kind of do a bunch of this stuff at one fell swoop. While we're in there, we're going to return it to the factory mechanical fuel pump on the side of the engine and do away with the electric fuel pump, which I loathe. We're going to install a fuel pressure regulator. Let's see, where's all that stuff? Okay. Oh, it's anxiety inducing. Here's the mechanical fuel pump that actually runs off of a cam on the crankshaft. Here's a fuel pressure regulator I'm going to install, because with the carburetor, obviously, you need to have some sort of method of returning fuel back to controlling pressure and returning fuel back to the tank, which is not on this right now. So it's going to cause A, failure of the carburetor gaskets, and B, failure of these electric fuel pumps, because you're just kind of deadheading the pump, right? And so eventually it'll overheat or fail the diaphragm or whatnot. So without further ado, let's dig into this. This is going to be a big load of work, and I don't think I'm going to get it done all that quickly, but haven't made a video in a while, so thought I would just try and throw some parts on a car. I'm going to start by removing this oil filter if I can. Let's just see. Oh, why do they get tight? They start off loose, but then they get tight. Okay. Kind of a little bit. You know, when I was over in Iceland, I was at this incredibly cool record store, and I ran into this woman who said she had a friend who made this independent movie about this guy in Iceland who's collecting all these, has a collection of Saabs out in the middle of a field, and all of his neighbors hate him. And I was like, you know what? I think that's something I'm going to do in the future. I'm going to go to Iceland, and I'm going to meet this guy. I'm going to find an old Saab 900, and I'm going to make it run, and then I'm going to drive it all around Iceland, because, you know, in Europe you can get the Opera window cars that we can't get in the United States, and then I'm going to have the car shipped back here. And that would be a great little experience for me. All right, let's see how much oil I leak this way. Oh, leaked some oil. All right, put that off to the side. On a bunch of reorganization of my toolbox here at my Illinois house. Total Hazat fanboy, as everybody knows. But, you know, basically the open top, I've kind of put more of the things that I use all the time up there. So as I take off the cap to disconnect the wire on the fuel pressure sender, I notice that this cap is completely filled with oil. So the question is, how did it get filled with oil? And there's not really a great reason for that. So I have a new one of these fuel pressure senders, but unfortunately it's in Milwaukee, so we're not going to be able to totally do this job today. Unfortunately, now I'm like, whoa, is that where the actual leak is coming from? But now that we're in this deep, we're going to do the gasket changes anyways. All right, so my theory would be that this should come up now, but is there anything else holding this thing on? Doesn't look like there's anything else holding it on. Perhaps it needs to be hit with a hammer. Okay, let's do that. Get one of these. And get one of these. Anything? No. Don't think there's anything else holding it on. Took out 4 bolts. Let's take another look underneath. Okay, so I just needed to hit it harder with a hammer, and this assembly did come off. No, this is the, I'm talking to my followers. That has never been off of there before. What gasket is even there? Let's get out the scrapers, boys and girls. See, the problem with this car is that it's leaking oil from so many places. It's like whack-a-mole. I just need to kind of like fix them one at a time, see if I observe a change. If I think that there's a place that obviously oil's leaking, fix it. See, it's just too many places. Well, the me of 5 minutes ago was thinking I was going to do this job without draining the coolant. And the me of right now has just drained, what, 3 gallons, 4 gallons of coolant out of this car? Whatever, let's view it as an opportunity to put better coolant in it. Of course, this is the oil cooler right here. Very simple assembly by Toyota, as everything Toyota is. But there she goes, there's all the coolant. Alright, we've got that all cleaned up. We've got this all cleaned up. I went through the whole kit I got. We found the correct ones there. We're going to go in and just start digging into this. I don't need to use this car for a few days, so I guess this is going to turn into a whole hog situation. No, I was thinking I would keep the old distributor in place to kind of mock up the timing when I put in that new distributor, but I've now decided that I'm just going to, this is going to be a big enough job that I'm going to go get the 46 millimeter socket from Milwaukee, and I'm just going to pull the old distributor out of here and yeah, call it a day. Open up space so I can get on that gasket that's behind there. One of the main reasons I want to do this new distributor is just to get this horrid coil out of here. It's not the original coil anyways, with this horrid wiring. The new distributor with the integrated coil in the cap, the benefit of it is that it greatly simplifies the wiring, and it will just let me clean this whole thing up. I'm not really even that worried about the performance aspects of it, which will probably be marginal. Oh. Oh. All right. So, you are out. Okay. One of these things is a lot bigger than the other. That's what she said. But will they fit? This goes on there. Yeah, looks like it'll fit. You know how sometimes you buy that one socket and it sits around in your toolbox for like ever, and then it's like, put me in, coach, put me in, coach. And then you have that one moment where it's like, finally the time, which is perfect. And like this moment for this swivel M10 nut grip socket from Koken is as we take off all these side cover screws, it's that moment. Look at that nut grip, how I just pull that out of there. You don't have to worry about it falling out. I just love the Koken. Of course, there's 14 bolts holding this cover on, but one of them, I didn't want it to, but it's going to necessitate me removing this alternator to actually get on. I used to spray my coil, but now I'm just using this bottle, and it's way better, way cleaner. Look at that right there. Keep all my stuff. That previous video when I triumphantly put this all back together after doing the front main seal, now I get to triumphantly take it back apart just to gain access to one screw to do this side cover. And I don't really sweat it, you know? It's like, it's the process. This is not, man. But I do wish I hadn't put the Loctite on it. That was a big miss on my part. All of that exposes this one lone screw right there, which frankly doesn't even take a wrench. These things have so little torque that Toyota has given you a Phillips on the end of the bolt. And okay, we are now, oh, of course I drop it into the coolant. Okay, I don't know if you guys have noticed how the engine degreasers, which are in the aerosol cans, are getting replaced by these spray bottles, but I've used a couple different brands in the spray bottles, and this is a way more effective solution. I'm so happy with these compared to the old school aerosol ones that I never really had very good luck with, you know? So we're gonna try and spray this down because there's some pretty serious engine internals behind this cover. And I've resigned myself that the oil's done so I don't really even need that cover in there. We're gonna drain everything out, but yeah, we'll try and keep the contamination down to a minimum at least. It's always very exciting for me to open up something on a motor that hasn't been opened in, God, for this car, over 40 years. Let's get this cover off of here. Need something thinner. Get in there. All these gaskets are so stuck because they are so old. Let's get out a little, let's tap it with something. come in with a little of this and a little of this. Ah, okay, coming off. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. It's been on there a long time. And of course, nobody wants to do this job. One can always wait one more day. Just like starting a diet, you know. My late sister-in-law was a pilot for United. This sort of, I mean, she made captain. This venerable Swiss woman. And you know, I was talking with her one time about airplanes, and because I had done my private, and we were talking about leaks, and she said, you know, it's really, drips aren't a big deal. It's gushes, you know. And so when you can let things can drip for a very, very long time. And drips really don't have to be the end of the world. What am I doing here? Come on. Oh, okay. Oh, no, you're stuck on there. All right, and now, oh Lord, have mercy. Okay, we have exposed the valve train. Okay. Let's do a little analysis here. Get that gasket out of there, which is decomposing. 40 years this gasket has lasted. I gotta say, it doesn't. Oh my God. Oh, petrified. Petrified gasket. God. I'm gonna go spend time with my daughter. I don't have the will to deal with this right now, but Lord have mercy. Push rods. Whoop. I don't know. That is way the fuck too loose. Ah, Joe. We need to do a valve adjustment. God damn it. Oh, this whole fucking thing is gonna snowball on me. Whole thing is gonna snowball on me. Anyways, it was a valve adjustment that needed to be done, and luckily I didn't just buy one or two gaskets. I bought the whole mother load because Mama didn't raise any fools. This isn't my first rodeo. I know what's going on here. What am I doing? I've got fuel pumps. I mean, I'm just like, I will never buy a car off Bring a Trailer again. You can go to Facebook Marketplace and get a great car that is equally as fucked for a quarter the price as the piece of shit you buy on Bring a Trailer. I will never buy another car on Bring a Trailer again. All jazzed up with great photos. Oh yeah. Then you get it home and it's a total piece of shit. Okay? I mean, this car, it could be worse. Did I think I was paying, getting a deal on an FJ60 that could sell for a lot more money in other instances? Yeah, but it's always the same. You're going to end up redoing the entire car, so you might as well start from a cheaper starting point. Anyways, I'm going to sign off for today. I haven't posted a video in a while, so I'm going to kind of do this as a work in progress type video. And yeah, so we'll just come back. I'm just going to post a video, and then as we get rolling on this whole situation here, we're going to reinstall the gasket on the tappet cover. Then we're going to put on the original fuel pump, mechanical fuel pump. Then we're going to put on the new distributor. Then we're going to take out the number one spark plug. We're going to set it to approximately top dead center, a little bit before top dead center. Then we're going to kind of approximate the timing setting on the new distributor. Get it, put the wires on, clean this up, get this bullshit coil off here, do some wire clean up there, get this fuel pump off, the electric fuel pump, take off some more wires, install the fuel pressure regulator, which I'm going to install. I'm going to need to tee the return. Wait, this is a inline fuel pressure regulator. Okay, so I actually don't need a tee on the return. I'm just going to put that on the outlet side of this pump. Put in a bunch of new hoses. Put it all back together. Drain the oil. Put in new oil. Get out the timing light. Oh God, look at all that crap on that V-belt pulley right there. Ugh, nightmare. Hold on, let me get that off. Get that off before I forget about it. Get out of there. Then we're going to kind of take it from there, because here's my problem. I'm either going to have to push it forward. If I don't get this working, I'm going to have to push it forward to give myself the space to drive old Bucky out here. Okay. All right. Signing off. That's been another amazing episode of White Lithium Eurotrash. Thank you to my now 208 subscribers. I appreciate each and every one of you.